Now, before you go blaming the wind for that shiver, let me let you in on the punchline. The thing you keep circling in the dark, the inheritance you can't quite name, has been circling you right back. And that, my little heir apparent, is why I couldn't stay away. This is not an accident. None of this is an accident. I know you feel that tug. Some quiet hour when the house holds its breath and your head finally stops doing cartwheels. That itch that says something's out there with your name stitched into it. Something that belongs to you. Something that always belonged to you long before you were clever enough to notice it. A sacred deed just changed hands. And the twist? Oh, the twist will floor you. The twist will floor you because you're not some poor soul who wandered into the wrong party. You're the rightful, wide-awake, chosen you. And this is your prize for the trials. I know. You're sitting there muttering, property. Sweetheart, I don't own property. I don't even own a coffee table that doesn't wobble. And that's precisely the joke. This isn't dirt you can pin on a map. This isn't deeds and mortgages and taxes that show up like uninvited guests. This is deeper. Something that's been trailing you your whole life. Tiptoeing behind you, hand over its grin, waiting for you to grow the eyes to catch it. The property I'm peddling is a slot in your own timeline. A little pocket of destiny carved out for you, hand-cut, my dear, by forces you haven't the faintest handle on yet. But you felt that low hum under the floorboards of your ordinary days, that nagging sense you're meant to be elsewhere, or someone else, or that there's another you living a truer life, one thin wall over. That's the property. That's the punchline I'm building toward. See, here's the funny thing about being an heir. Nobody just hands you what's yours. Oh, no. That's not how the game is dealt. No gold-embossed card slips through your mail slot cooing, Congratulations. You've won the life you were owed. Kindly collect your winnings at your leisure. It's a brawl, an ordeal, a little pilgrimage that pokes at everything you think you know about yourself. And why is the curtain lifting now, this exact tick of the clock? Because you survived something, my friend. Something that would have folded most people like a bad hand. Something that made you doubt it all. Your luck, your reason, your own reflection. And that survival, that stubborn, grinning hunger that kept your lungs working when every last inch of you begged to fold. That was your application. That was your claim. That was you scrawling your name across the dotted line of fate. Giggling or not. Whether or not you clocked the pen in your hand, you've been through the trials. I can hear it. You know, just listening to you breathe. The way you're holding it in right now, the way your ribs cinch tight the second I say the word trials. Because you know exactly the tune I'm humming. You don't need me to read them back to you. You've been lugging them around like a fistful of broken glass, pockets full, every single day. The betrayals that spun you dizzy and left you cold. The dreams that guttered out like a match in a downpour, leaving you squinting at a future gone hollow. The nights you lay flat, interrogating the ceiling, or the universe, or whatever you like to call the thing that never calls back. Asking, why me? What did I do to earn this? Let's get real. Does this feel like progress to you? The most dangerous thing in the world is being yourself. Read The Evolution of the Anomaly and stop apologizing. Grab it from the description or pinned comment of this video. Now, let's get back to the real meat of this. And maybe no answer came. Maybe the quiet was so loud it rang. But I'm telling you now, every one of those moments, every tear, every sleepless hour, every time you felt invisible or filed away or worthless, it was all part of a process, a grand, grinning design. Working for you even while it dressed up like abandonment. Because here's the truth nobody bothers to whisper, the trials aren't the punishment. They're the polish, stings, sure, but they're the flame that licks away everything that isn't you. Everything glued onto you by other people's expectations, by fear, by the weight of a world that would just love to keep you small and hushed and easy to manage. The property, the one that just landed in your lap. It's the room where you finally get to be entirely you. The you that ran around before the world handed you another rule book. The you that loved loud, loved reckless, dreamed with the brakes cut. That version's been waiting, curled up in some dark little back room, certain you'd wander home, certain you'd remember your own face. And the reason it's happening now, the reason the mask is slipping now, at this precise dog ear in your timeline, is that you're finally ready to catch it. Not because you're spotless, not because you've cracked every riddle, because you stopped running. You stopped pretending the chaos in your life was just noise, static, nothing. You started clocking the patterns, the odd little coincidences, the way certain numbers keep tapping you on the shoulder whenever you're chewing on the big questions. Yes, that. The way a stranger tosses out a line in passing that lands like it was aimed dead at your chest. The way you keep getting pulled towards certain rooms, certain notions, certain people. Like some unseen hands got you by the collar, steering you down a path you can't quite see, but can absolutely feel humming under your feet. That's not an accident. None of that is an accident. This property, it isn't four walls and a roof. It's a state of being. It's the little back room in you, where your true purpose keeps the lights on. It's the inheritance that was never meant to slip into ordinary hands, because, well, it was never cut for ordinary people. And you, my darling, are anything but ordinary. You never were. You just misplaced it for a spell, because life has this cute habit of distracting you, of burying you under obligations and dreads and the endless racket of just getting by. You were so busy scrambling to make it to bedtime that you lost the thread of the bigger story, the one being written about you even while you couldn't read a word of it. And the reason the twist will floor you when it finally clicks is that it's stitched into everything you've lived. Every ache, every giddy high, every muddle, every flash of clarity. It all loops back to this secret inheritance. It's the loose thread you keep tugging on a jacket you've only ever seen turned inside out. All snarls and dead ends and stitches running nowhere. But now the jacket's flipping right side round, and you're about to see the pattern that was there the whole time, the shape of your life, as it was always cut to be. The life of the rightful heir who finally strolled home to collect what was theirs. And here's the bit that lands square in the chest, so mind the sting. This inheritance isn't something you have to earn. No. It's already yours, signed over the second you drew breath, maybe earlier, in some room past the reach of clocks, by forces that already knew the punchline of you. The trials were never an audition for your worth. They were the alarm bell, rattling you awake, shaking you loose from the sleepwalk of ordinary living so you could finally spot the truth. The truth that you're the heir. The truth that what's rolling toward you isn't some sorry little parting gift for outlasting your pain. It's the actual reward for your nerve. The nerve to keep walking when every sign shrieked quit. The nerve to keep believing when the evidence pointed at nothing but a door slammed in your face. The nerve to still hope when hope was the most dangerous thing you could hold. Oh, I know that flavor. The feeling of being left off the list. I know what it's like to watch everybody else waltz off with the whole cake, while you sit in the wings wondering when the spotlight swings your way. I know the bitterness that seeps in, the resentment that feels so deliciously earned. The way you start to buy the story that maybe you just weren't built for happy. Maybe the universe has a grudge. Maybe you were dealt a rotten card, or fumbled something ages ago that struck your name off the good list. But I'm telling you, that's all a rigged deck. Those are the mutterings of your old self, the self that skulked around before you understood the true shape of your inheritance. The self that couldn't see the whole picture because it had its nose pressed flat against the paint. This property isn't about a fat wallet. It's not about out-owning the neighbors or finally buying that shiny thing you've been circling. It's about alignment. It's about stepping, at last, into the version of your life where the pieces click, where the mismatched puzzle suddenly agrees with itself, where you wake up humming with that unshakable bone-deep knowing that you're exactly where you're meant to stand. And the reason it's a secret property, because it stayed tucked away until you were ready to hold it. Picture a vault, then. A heavy iron vault sunk deep beneath the floor. Not because someone wanted to cheat you of it, but because they had to be sure you were strong enough to haul out what's inside. The heft of it, the responsibility, the shiver of change that comes with cracking it open. You've been carrying loads that were never yours to carry. The expectations of others, the verdicts, the dread that you're not enough, the shame stapled to your mistakes. All of it, mashing down on you, shrinking you, blindfolding you to the thing sitting right under your grin. And the moment you claim this property, this inheritance, you'll feel the load start to lift. Not all at once, but you'll feel it. Like unclenching a fist you forgot you'd been making for years. You'll start moving through life differently, walk taller, speak plainer, laugh looser. Really laugh, my kind of laugh. Because you'll finally know who you are. You'll finally know what you're worth. Now, lean in. There's something important I need you to catch about those trials. When I call this your reward, I'm not saying you racked up enough cosmic points, did enough good turns, bled enough to cash in a prize. Ha! That's not the machinery of it. The reward is just the natural aftershock of your transformation. The trials didn't drop in to punish you. They dropped in to carve you. They knocked down the counterfeit you. The one nailed together out of fear and obligation, so the real article could step out. Think of a locksmith then, my dear, hunched over a blank of brass. He doesn't add to make the key. He files. He shears away every burr and edge that isn't the shape that'll finally turn the lock. That's what your trials have been up to. Shaving off everything that wasn't you, so the you that fits could at last slide home. And the property I keep dangling, the secret inheritance. It's not only a place, it's a pitch, a note. A frequency you're finally tuned to. You've been catching it your whole life. Hush a second and you'll hear it, that low hum under the floor. But you never had a name for it. You figured it was just restlessness, just nerves, just wanting something you couldn't quite spell. But now you know. Now it rings clear. It's the sound of your real life ringing you up, asking you to come home. The frequency of joy and purpose and, Of course, peace. The pitch of the person you were always cut to be. And the reason you can hear it now is that you've done the work. Waded through enough static to finally catch the signal. And now I want you honest with yourself, mind, not with me, not with anyone in the cheap seats, just with your own hammering heart. Are you ready? Are you ready to quit being a survivor and start being a receiver? Are you ready to set down the story that swears you're not enough, that your shot's been spent, that your best days are already yellowing behind you? Are you ready to claim the property with your name scrawled all over it? Because if you are, oh, if you are, everything tips over, starting now, not tomorrow. Not when you feel a smidge more prepared, not when the stars queue up in a tidy little row. Now, this breath, right where you're standing. You might not see the whole picture yet. You might not know what the property even looks like, or how to find it, or what on earth to do once you're through the door. And that's fine. Yes, that's perfectly fine. You don't need every answer clutched in your fist tonight. You just need the first step. You need to turn the key. You need to stroll through that door swinging open in front of you, even if the far side's pure shadow. Because the property isn't a place you stumble onto. It's a place you conjure. A place you step into by daring to believe you deserve it. By playing the air you already are. By living with the authority, the swagger, the peace that pours out of knowing your own true face. That's not an accident. And I'll say it once more, nice and slow, so it burrows all the way in. None of this is an accident. Your life is not a string of pratfalls. The universe is not shrugging at you. The trials you've clawed through, the ones that nearly folded you, the ones that left you wrung out and rattled, they weren't punishment. They were rehearsal. They were the shearing away of the old self, the counterfeit self, the self that was never truly you. And the reason the curtain's rising now is that the filing is finished. The key is cut. The real you is ready to step up and collect what's yours. And when you do, when you finally cross into that inheritance, you'll turn and look back on the whole show. The ache, the loss, the muddle, the loneliness, and you'll read it differently. You'll read it as the journey it always was, the journey that walked you home, the journey that made you the rightful heir, the journey that handed you the muscle to shoulder the weight of your own destiny. And you'll feel nothing but gratitude. Gratitude for every trial, every lesson, every moment that tested you and refined you and carved you into the one who can finally say, without a flicker of doubt, this is mine. I'm ready, and I'm grateful for every last thing that dragged me here. The property is yours, the address is scribbled in your heart, the reason will come clear, and you'll walk right through it. And the shock, that gorgeous grinning shock, it won't come crashing in from some fireworks in the sky. It'll come from finally, truly, deeply recognizing yourself, recognizing the air, recognizing the one who was chosen, and knowing, down to the last thread of you, that you are always, always worthy of every bit that's rolling your way. So, breathe, let it settle, and let yourself feel the weight of your own inheritance folding around your shoulders like a cloak stitched from pure, laughing light, because you are the heir. And your time, my dear, well, your time is now. And finally, grab my book from the description or pinned comment of this video. See you later, darling.